and welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. I'm Kim, and this is a podcast all about knitting, spinning, and dyeing of yarn, all of which I do here in my home outside of Lima, Ohio. Boy, I almost messed that up. Well, I did kind of. Today is March 10th, and this is episode 201. I hope everybody has a tea or another beverage to drink and has your crafty work with you, and we'll just sit down and have a little visit. Excuse me, I see something I forgot to put with my pile of things. There we go. Anyways, I can be found all over the place on the internet. Not every place, but all over the place, and that hurt because that was hot tea that splashed on me. I can be found on Ravelry as Napier's Knit. Sorry, I've got butterfingers. I'm just trying to drop everything. As Napier's Knit, or we have a podcast group called Naturally Kim's Knitting Podcast Group. I can be found on, I want to make sure I don't forget anything because, you know, the way I am today. Instagram as Knittin_Kim. So it's KNITTIN_Kim. And then I could be found on Ravelry, WordPress, and YouTube as Naturally Kim's Knitting. I don't know why I'm this way today. It is a spring rainy day, and my puppy's not feeling good, but I don't know why I'm so scatterbrained. I'll put this down. Okay. Now, I like to have some knit-along fun with you guys, or craft-along fun. And one of them that we do every month is our finished object knit-along, and we have one going for the month of March. Now, all you have to do to take part of this is take a picture of your finished object and post it either on Ravelry, on the Naturally Kim's Knitting podcast group, under the thread for March finished objects, or you can post it on at the end of my show notes for the week on Blogger or WordPress, which they're both Naturally Kim's Knitting, or you can go to Instagram and you can put it under hashtag NKK March FO. So it's NKK for Naturally Kim's Knitting March finished object. And then when you post that, if you could put the name of the pattern with it, that would be wonderful. Then you could be eligible to win one of the prizes at the end of the month, which I offer a $10 gift card for Amazon or KnitPicks, or any giftable pattern up to $10. So we have that one going on. And now you may wonder why I have on this beautiful, beautiful shawl today. Well, we're also doing a knit along for Myla's Knit Corner. And this was one of Myla's patterns that I was blessed enough to be able to pattern test for her. I love it. I made this one out of a heavier yarn, and it's just perfect. When there's a little chill in the air, I can grab this, put it on, and especially if we're wearing a t-shirt or something, and it's just really nice. So we're doing a Myla's Knit Corner knit along, and I want to make sure I get everything. This is a 3-month knit along, and it ends on April 1st. And for this one, all you have to do is pick one of Myla's many, many beautiful patterns, which you can find those on Etsy, Facebook, or Ravelry. Pick any one of her patterns and take a picture of it when you finished it. You know what? I said last week, even if you don't finish it, take a picture of how far you've gotten in it. Post it on Myla's Knit Corner knit along and put the pattern name, and then the winner will be eligible to win one of Myla's patterns. I may give an option of, if you would prefer, you could pick any Ravelry pattern or any giftable pattern that's out there, up to $10. Okay? I'm hoping we get a lot of people interested in this. I've had a couple people post, and the objects are beautiful. Now, do you have your knitting with you? My Christmas clock is singing. Okay. It does that every hour. Different song every hour, but I love that clock. Anyways, so I hope you have your knitting with you. Go ahead and get it out and work on anything that's not finished while I show you what I'm working on. I have, oops, it didn't want me to share. That plus I put it down yesterday, and so it's kind of wanting to stay there. I didn't put it in a project bag. I know, whenever I don't do that, I always regret it. So this is another one of my Chemo Caps for kids. And look at this. It's purple. I just love this one. This was a yarn my granddaughter gave to me. I'm sure it was from her. It looks more blue there, but it is a purple. Boy, usually my colors are so much better than that on here. Not today. Anyways, it's a Caron, Yarnspiration Caron yarn, and it is purple. What can I say about it? It is gorgeous, and it is soft. I think it was Caron. I'll have to check and see. I will let you know next week for sure. But anyways, isn't that beautiful? It's, I act as if you could feel it. I'm sorry. It is soft. And I'm probably a ½ inch from getting ready to shape the crown. Probably get there today. But that is that. Of course, I smile whenever I'm working on it because it's purple. I know. In case you haven't guessed, purple is my favorite color. And so yarn that has purple in it, I just go crazy about. And my granddaughter's favorite colors are purple, red, and pink. While I'm at it, my grandson's favorite colors are orange. I think it's just orange. I'll have to talk to him and find out. We haven't video chatted for a while. I'm getting a little upset. Then I haven't worked, maybe I worked on these a little bit last week. I don't think so. It depends. Where was I last week? Did I finish the She Blinded Me with Science socks? Well, before I podcasted last week? I don't know. If so, I did the Kitchener stitch. I know you can't tell really, but I did the Kitchener stitch. Anybody who's watched this for a while knows I do not like doing top to toe, cuff to toe socks because the Kitchener stitch terrifies me. I gave my first pair of socks that I gave my son, they were top to bottom because that's the only way I knew that you could do them back then. And he wore them for a week or so, and the toes came out. So Kitchener stitch has always been not exactly my favorite thing to do. However, I did it on these, and look at these She Blinded Me with Science socks. From the cuff, through the DNA, through the jellyfish. These are science. I just love these. So I know I don't know that I had this finished last week. But I really have not worked on the other sock much because I guess I have, because I started the heel. I don't usually leave socks when I've just started a heel, but I just started the heel last week. Didn't get that far. Anyways, these are my She Blinded Me with Science socks, and I love these. I'm going to make a pair for myself too. Now, one little suggestion. This does have cables throughout it, and just a note, whenever you do cables on socks, make sure to go up 1 or 2 needle sizes. I went up 1, and I'm hoping these will have enough stretch for my daughter. I think Mollie will like them. She and her husband both like green, so, and my husband too. So, those are my She Blinded Me with Science. I know I keep saying that, but I love the song. And it's so funny because ever since I started knitting these, I have heard that song like 3 or 4 times, and I hadn't heard it for a long time before that. So, anyway. She blinded me with science. I won't go any farther with it. I'll mess the words up. Then I have Tobias' socks, almost finished. Oh, if I would have stayed up past my bedtime last night, I would have, but I might have made mistakes. But there's one sock. Now with his, I did the ribbing I did a knit 2, purl 2 ribbing from the top of the foot to the cuff, and then at the cuff I started a knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. Knit 1 in the back, purl 1 ribbing. And yes, and I started the knit 2, purl 2 at the heel, because, you know, I like the heels like that. They don't slip as much. He's a very active boy. And so if he wears my socks, or his socks, I want him to be able to keep them on. Then on the other one, this is what broke my heart because I came so close. Let's see. I don't even know if I'm ready for it. I'm almost ready for the one knit 1, purl 1 ribbing. But there's his other one. So that was yarn I dyed specifically for these socks because he requested them. And he's not really ever requested anything from me before. I've made him things, but he's not requested them. Although it does tickle my heart. I made him a cardigan and I put little truck buttons. I got those from Nana's Girls, I think it was, on Etsy. And he loves that sweater. And he thanks me for it several times. So tickled. That was my father-in-law walking along in the background. He usually gets in whenever he's here. Yes, he's home. So, anyways, let's see. Now, these I only worked on a little bit. I know. I'm very disappointed to say that. But between the Tobias socks and my sweater, I just haven't devoted the time I should. Because these are my soup kitchen socks. The last skeins of yarn that Linda, my friend Linda, paid for. And I made it that far. I haven't made it to the heel even. I keep looking over at my camera, over at my computer. I'm sorry. So I really haven't made it much farther. Once I get Tobias' socks done, I will probably start another pair of socks, but there will not be any urgency to it because I think I need to make myself another pair or two of socks. Then, Shakespeare in Love by Carol Sunday. Let me show you the back first. Gorgeous. Front first. I'm sorry, front first. Gorgeous. I love this. I'm going to enjoy wearing this so much. Then the back. I am working on the armholes right now, but the back has a different cable than the front. If you notice the front, it looks like this. The back cable is like that. Now the sides are the same, and you do a 2x2 ribbing until you get up to the armhole. Then you do a moss stitch. So I love it. I am so excited. I am so excited by this. So anyways, it is Carol Sunday. The back has a shaping to it. Mine, you have the option. See how it kind of comes down in the back? And that's the way I'm doing mine. And this has been, I did see the pictures when I was leafing through. There they are. There's all the pictures. The front. Too many things in my hand. The front and the back. And then the sleeves I haven't even started on yet. I just love this. I cannot say enough about it. Carol Sunday's patterns are beautiful. They're not easy. I wouldn't put a beginning knitter on this. Only somebody who's really comfortable with cables should ever think about doing this because it's not easy. Luckily, I did one of her coats before. I don't remember the name of it. And I had this special yarn that was made out of lots of different fibers. And when I knit that up, I got so many compliments on it every time I wore it. I wore it until it fell apart. I like it when you make things that you just love to wear over and over again. Don't want to spill my tea. Now, I got one thing finished this week. I want to make sure I got everything. Oh, I should say that Shakespeare in Love is made with KnitPicks wool of the Andes red, in the color red. Okay, now, what do I have finished? I finished, well, it was going to be a Chemo Cap, but it's orange. So along with his socks, Tobias is going to get this hat. He may never wear it, but you know, he can always say, well, Grandma made me this hat. He has worn them to be silly, and if he wants to wear them to be silly, that is fine, because in California, it doesn't get really, really cold. It gets chilly, it gets under the 30s, so a hat does feel good then, but I don't know if it'll fit him then. So this is my Tobias's. It would have been a Chemo Cap, but it's Tobias's hat. And for those who don't know, Tobias is my grandson, Genevieve is my granddaughter. Genevieve 6, Tobias is 3. So, now, to keep right on track with my show notes, I'm glad I have them today as, as some kind of scatterbrained. First of all, this is the Let's Chat area. Let me bring up KnitPicks first, because I am affiliated with KnitPicks. If you're interested in any of the things that you see, if you click on KnitPicks in the show notes, or, yeah, in the show notes, it would take you to their site, and I will get a couple pennies in return. Anyways, they have, you know, I never have money for yarn, which is just as well. I get yarn for special occasions. My grandchildren, like I said, will go to Michael's and they will buy yarn for me for Mother's Day and my birthday and Christmas. And I use that to make mainly Chemo Caps. Now, some of the yarn is a little scratchy for Chemo Caps, and I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with it yet. Oh, they also go to Lambtown to get me yarn there, which I think I'm going this next year. I'm excited. We decided this is neither here nor there. We decided that next year, when we go out to see my daughter, her husband, and the grandchildren, we're going to be there the last weekend of September. They have Scottish weekend, or a Scottish festival at the Dixon Fairgrounds. And so we're going to go for that, and then we're going to stay for the next weekend when Lambtown is going on. And that is so fantastic. I love that place. And I could see people like, I don't remember the name of them, but there's a booth there where they have videos on how to dye yarn naturally. And then Kira's Designs, I think that's the way it is. She's, I first met her out there. She uses the yarn by these people who dye yarn naturally, and she designs her patterns around them. Love them. And then there's Sincere Sheep that's there that I usually go to when I'm out there. There's lots of booths. I can't remember the one. They're always the last booth on the right as you're going out, and they have tons and tons of roving. So I've got to start saving my money so I can ship back yarn so it'll be here when I come home from there. Anyways, so let's go on with my KnitPick stuff. I was saying I never have money to buy the yarn from there, and it breaks my heart because they have bare wool and roving. You know, the stuff that you could dye yourself. That's okay. My gardening has to come first right now, and we're ordering things for the garden, so yarn is being put on pause for temporarily. Now they also have, I should say, the bare yarn is 20% off through the end of this month. They also have 30% off of their Felici yarn, which it's on sale until all the yarn is gone. So the colorway that you may be looking for may not be there if you wait too long. They have a needle sale, open stock needles, 20% off then, since it's getting close to St. Patrick's Day, through March 16th. Green yarn. Different, depending on the yarn you get, there's different discounts. So if you click on their website and go to the green yarn sale, there's some that are 20%, 30%, you know, and on like that. Anyways, and that's through the 16th, like I said. Now, I have really appreciated the prayers that all of you have been making in my behalf. I went in to have the CAT scan last week with the dye. They put lidocaine in. I should have known that I would pay for what they were having me do for the next 3 days, because they have you, I'll do it with my other arm, they have you wiggle your arm around and all. That's very painful for me to be doing with this arm lately. So, but when the lidocaine was in there, I was able to move it some and everything. Well, when the lidocaine wore off, oh my goodness. I've said it before, I had a physical therapist who once told me that on a scale of 1 to 10, if your pain is a 10, that would be my arm's been cut off and you're carrying it into the emergency room. So it wasn't that bad, but I would put it at a 9.5. And it was that way. I mean, Sunday, when I'm hurting like that, even knitting can't distract me. And even through Sunday, I would catch myself, I have a beautiful picture window over here, and I would catch myself just staring off into space, thinking, oh, when's this going to get better? I sat out on my deck. It was so nice to be able to sit on my deck again. And I was going to read. I couldn't even concentrate on reading, which was so sad. So I wish they would have warned or reminded me that, you know, anything you do under lidocaine, you're going to pay for later. Okay, so they told me my doctor would get the results no later than Monday. So call them on Monday. And I did. And, well, you have to call and leave a message. They call you back. They called me back and said, well, good news. We don't see a tear or anything. I said, oh. And they said, yeah, the bad news is you're still feeling pain, aren't you? I said, oh, yeah. So I have an appointment they got me in tomorrow at 10:20. It's very hard to get in to see this doctor. But she looked and she said, the first appointment I have is at 10:20 on Wednesday. And I said, I'll take it. So my husband gets home and he goes, so on Wednesday, I have a conference call at 11. So I said, we won't be home in time. And one thing I know, you'd never get in with this doctor right away. And I like to have my husband in when we're discussing something that's hurting me, so I can have a second pair of ears. And he goes, oh, I thought it was 10. I said, no, 10:20. He goes, well, I said, so call. If you need to reschedule, go ahead. So he called, and the next earliest appointment they had was like April 20-something. I said, no, I can't go that long. So bless his soul, he's going to see about getting out of his conference call so he can be with me. He goes, you can't drive, can you? I said, you have banned me from driving until I get this fixed. He goes, oh yeah, that's right. So that's what's going on with me. As you saw a little bit ago, my father-in-law made it back from his visit with my brother-in-law and his wife, Lauren and Jennifer. And I think he had a nice visit. I haven't heard anything negative from him, so I think it was a very nice visit. We had 2 weeks where it was just me and my animals and his cat Tommy last week during the day, and then Randy at night. And it was very weird. I'd gotten so used to having Ronald around that I missed him very much. Very glad to have him back. Now, I'm excited about this because I've been reading this book, and it's written, they say it's for young adults. I disagree that it's just for young adults. It's called The Wing Feather Saga. Whoops, sorry. North or Be Eaten by Andrew Peterson. This is such a good book. It's the second in a series, which I usually try to avoid second, third, fourth in a series because I'm never guaranteed I'm going to be able to understand the characters, understand the situation they're going through, or anything. Within the first 2 chapters, which the chapters are all short, Andrew Peterson was able to bring me into this adventure, and I did not want to put this book down. I am going to pronounce things wrong. Well, no, I'm not even going to do that. At the end of this video, before my closing things, I'm going to put my book review. It's only a 2 to 3 minute long book review of this book, which I'm also going to try to put on Amazon and Goodreads or wherever else I can. It comes out today. If you have somebody in your life who likes to read Tolkien, The Hobbit, those books, Tolkien, I'm getting that wrong, I'm putting an S in there, they would love these books. Excellent books. I basically say the same thing, and the book review only I go into a little bit more. Anyways, I think that's it. Winners, well, I've heard back from both winners for the 200th podiversary. I hope they both have they both have received their prizes. I cannot believe I've been doing this for 200 episodes, which is more than 200 weeks, because there was a few weeks in there where I had to kind of either skip or do imaginative podcasts. But oh, I wanted to show you something. Just a moment, I'll be right back. I fibbed a little too. I forgot. Linda wanted one of the yarns, so hers is on the way. But as a celebration to myself for doing 200 podcasts, I went to Busy Bee Fibers in Etsy. I love getting fiber from her, and I got this Romney braid, and oh, it is so soft. Now, I also got, and if you've ever worked with merino, you know how soft this is. I don't know if you can see. I don't really want to take it out. Let me see if 4 different colors of Romney, 8 ounces total. Now between this of merino, between this, the Romney, and then I have some nylon. I want to blend those together on my blending board and see what I get without dyeing anything. I just want to see what turns out, and hopefully I can make that into a sock yarn. So anyways, I really wanted to show that to you guys, but I had left it over on my spinning chair. So I've gone a little bit longer today. I'm sorry. Like I said, the book review will be at the end. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great week crafting, whatever your crafting may be. I hope you don't make any mistakes, but if you do, I hope they're small ones that are easy to repair or to fix. I love all of you. Big, big hugs. And I'll talk to you next week. And bye-bye. Hi, and my name is Kim from Reading, Writing, and So Much More. And I have a very special book review to do today. It is on the book, The Wing Feather Saga, and the second book is North or Be Eaten. Now, I have not read the first book. Let me tell you that. But after reading this book, I went back and made sure to get the first book. This, even though it's written for young audiences, this is an excellent book. Let me read the synopsis on the back, and then I'll give you my viewpoint on it. Janner, Tink, and Lily Igby thought they were normal children with normal lives and a normal past, but now they know they're really the lost jewels of Aniria, heirs to a legendary kingdom across the sea, and suddenly everyone wants to kill them. In order to survive, they must flee to the safety of the ice prairies, where the lizard-like fangs of Dang cannot follow. First, however, they have to escape the monsters of Glipwood Forest, the thieving stranders of the East Bend, and the dreaded Fork Factory. But even more dangerous are the jealousy and bitterness that threatens to tear them apart. Janner and his siblings must learn the hard way that the love of a family is more important than anything else. Now, in case I haven't mentioned, this is launching today. I loved it. I put it on the same realm as J.R.R. Tolkien's books, the Hobbit books, the Lord of the Ring books. I've read those books many, many times, from front to back, from first page of The Hobbit to the last page of the series. This is like that. I could not put it down. Like I said, it may be written for young adults, but if you like J.R.R. Tolkien, I believe you will like this series of books too. The Wingfeather Saga, excellent book. Andrew Peterson has done such a great job, and let me share some of the illustrations that are found within this book, because look at these drawings. Aren't they magnificent? And you find them scattered throughout the book, and the drawings depict exactly what is in the reading that you do. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I love this book, and I highly recommend it to anybody who enjoys reading Tolkien's books. Okay, thank you. Big hugs. Have a great day.